Yeah, hello. Welcome to the live video. Name is Zakinthos. Yeah, I want to talk about the Adelaide Football Club, the Crows. And yeah, for me, I don't know. For me, the Adelaide Crows, I don't know where they're going. Don't know at all what's happening. The latest is the chairman. They got a new chairman, John Olsen. The previous chairman was Rob Chapman. For me, it starts at the top. And sorry, I'm laughing because it's a bit funny. Not that I haven't done a video before, but when you look at a professional sporting organization, football, soccer, NFL, ice hockey, baseball, basketball, we're talking AFL football. You have a chairman and a board and the CEO, COO, all of them underneath. For me, it's just the last straw. The previous chairman was fail. This chairman is fail. The SANFL run the Crows here in South Australia. It's epic fail. Port Adelaide did a clean out maybe, 6 or 7 years ago. And look what's happened. They're in the finals every year. They missed out on a grand final. It's just, the Crows appointed a new chairman about a month ago. And when I heard from the 5AA Sports Show that their SANFL were putting in a former politician, wouldn't it be nice if the club put in a chairman that actually played football, that was a winner, a 3 times premiership coach? God forbid. The previous chairman was a banker, and look where the club ended up, at the bottom of the ladder. That's no coincidence. This chairman, politician, now, yesterday they mentioned that the chief executive officer has resigned after 6 years. And they mentioned on the news last night, Channel 9 here in Adelaide, we're now looking for a CEO that has an AFL background, because the previous one had a rugby background. And that's, for me, I'm dumbfounded. The anger in my stomach doesn't describe it. And there are particular people on 5AA that need to be held accountable as well. Why they got rid of Mark Bickley from the Drive show is beyond me. I don't even understand why. I don't know why. That's another story. Maybe another YouTube video I'll do. The previous chairman that we had, so this one's John Olsen, the new one, politician. And what does he do when he got the job? About a month ago, a month and a half ago, in early December, he saw the players training in the gym and he got horny. He got excited. Oh, come on, man. This is the chairman. The previous chairman, never at press conferences, never admitted to anything. And let's go back in time. There was supposed to be a review of the club. What review? Port Power did a review. They did a proper review. They did a clean out after Matt Primus got the sack. Us, I don't know. I just don't know. Get my train of thought together. A review of the Adelaide Football Club happened about like a year and a half ago, maybe more. And they brought in Jason Dunstall and Matthew Pavlich to do the review. And apparently there were 16 recommendations, maybe. What did the Adelaide Football Club do? Don Pike got the sack, Brett Burton got the sack, and Scott Camperelli got the sack. They were the three people. That was the cleanup. And there are 20 positions at the club. And that's outside. We're not talking about board members. What's going on? The camp that happened. Ooh, we're not allowed to talk about the camp. Ooh, and if you mention on Facebook, they call me, it's Mr. Negative, because I don't have anything positive. What positives is to say about the club when they finished bottom of the ladder? And this is the other thing. In the end, the Crows won the last 4 games, whatever. We finished bottom. They keep hiring coaches that are inexperienced. It's got nothing against Matthew Nicks. The club even admitted we don't look for coaches over the age of 35. They don't want coaches over 40 because they think they're dinosaurs. The Adelaide Football Club want coaches that are puppets, as inexperienced as possible. Why? So the club can control the coach. So the club has the final say in team selection, so the coach doesn't do anything. So every 2 or 3 years, you're going to get a different coach. So you got Matthew Nicks. He's not to blame. Again, very young. The club did a proper clean-out. The club was supposed to do a proper clean-out a year and a half ago. Everybody, hello, welcome. And again, only 3 people got the sack. The chairman wasn't held accountable. The CEO wasn't held accountable. There are other coaching staff. We've had a ruck coach that's been there since for 10 years or whatever. Josh Frank, who left, we don't know why. There's so many. The guy that played for, that coached North Adelaide. It's just, and then part of the review is the camp. No one's allowed to talk about the camp because you can get sued. The Aboriginal players, so many left. Eddie Betts. Why did Eddie Betts? He went back to Carlton. He left Carlton, came to the Crows. He went back to Carlton. Why? I'm going to write hello as well. Yeah. But it's just, I can't. I don't. Another Aboriginal, who was it? Was Cam Ellis-Yeoman. He left. Tony Armstrong, probably don't even remember the name. He went to Sydney. And now, what did I hear, 6 months ago? Andrew McLeod criticised the club. He said he didn't feel welcome at the club. And so you've got KG and Cornsey Saturday morning, and then I think KG goes, "Oh, you're a naughty boy." Why? Why is he a naughty boy? Because the CEO, Andrew Fagan, tried to call Andrew McLeod, and Andrew McLeod wouldn't take the call. So they called him a naughty boy. Well, a naughty boy. Well, the naughty boy is angry because he sees that the future of the club is going nowhere. It's just, and I tried to call that Saturday morning. I had to wait. Was it in line and in the queue? Oh, you'll be next and you'll be next and you're corns and this and that. And, they're talking about cricket if the foot's on the crease. And no, anyway, that's another story. So the camp, they held Brett Burton accountable for the camp. Well, hang on. Who does Brett Burton answer to? He doesn't answer to himself. He doesn't make the decisions himself. Someone would have approved of the decision. Yes, he might have thought of the thing, let's do a camp. Because at the end of, 2017 or 2018, the results weren't good. Let's get them together. Oh, Brett Burden is to blame for the camp, not the chairman, not the CEO, God forbid any of the board members. And this is the other thing. The board members, no clean out of the board. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, a friend of mine sent an email. One of the board members is up for re-election. Mate, they should all be up for re-election. It's supposed to be a clean out anyway, man. The chairman was selected by the SANFL. The SANFL completely run the club, and it's wrong. It is wrong. And while the SANFL has complete control of the Crows, yes, I understand. When the Crows came in 1991, fine, yes. The SANFL invented the club because Port Power did their own thing at the end of 1990. So the Crows was a representation of all the 9 SANFL clubs. But it's time now for the SANFL to relinquish their control somehow, because it just doesn't work. And now they put in a chairman that has never played a single game of AFL or SANFL. The previous chairman the same. And there were coaching staff in the Noble, Harper, the rest of them. They've never played AFL, whatever. Oh, and on Facebook they tell me, oh, Nick, we need businessmen. It doesn't matter. You can be successful if you're a businessman. No, you can't, because we finished bottom of the ladder. That was last year we finished bottom of the ladder. So where are we going to finish this year at the start of 2021? Any higher? There are 18 positions on the ladder. Maybe we'll finish not 18th, but 15th or 14th. And that's not a reflection of the coach. The coach is not the issue. They don't hire coaches that threaten the ideology of the club. The ideology is we do as we wish. The coach does not have the final say in team selection and never will. And you watch. Matthew Nicks come round 3, round 4, round 6 out. He's going to want Thursday night his own team selection. He's going to say, I want player A, B, and C selected. You know what the selection committee will say? And the selection committee is made up of 6 people. They will say, you can have player A, but not B and C. And then during match day, he'll say, look, I want to move position A on the wing, position B at halfback. You know what they'll tell him? No, not now. Do that in 10 minutes' time. Guess what? In 10 minutes' time, the game is over. And guess who cops the flack if the club loses that game Saturday afternoon? The coach. And it's the coach in 2 years' time that will get the flick. You mark my words. Remember it. In 2 years' time, Matthew Nicks won't be there. And they'll get a next one. And it's always a young coach, 35, 36 years old. No way will they get 45 years old or more, like my age or whatever. They said it. Ross Lyon was available. I'd watch Footy Classified. I never missed an episode. So that's the thing. They never... When the Crows look for a coach, and, it's going to happen again, then they can never have one coach that's been there for, say, 10 years have stability at the club. God forbid. It's mind-blowing, man. Scott Burns at the end they got Scott Burns. They actually wanted him for the senior role 4 or 5 years ago. Let's go through all the coaches that we've had. Graham Corns, 1991, his inaugural coach, and he coached Glenelg, fair enough, and he did a good job. At the end of 94, got ousted, sacked. And then you had Robert Shaw. Then you had Malcolm Bligh. Malcolm Bligh came with 2 flags. Then you had Gary Ayres, and this is where the rot set it in 2004. Because we had a CEO in Stephen Trigg that was the worst of the worst. That's proven because he went to Carlton. And then you can look at what happened with Carlton when Michael Bolden was there, or whatever his name is. You had Gary Ayres. They couldn't get rid of him quick enough. So they brought in Neil Craig. And what happened in 2011 then? Neil Craig resigned. They didn't sack him. Neil Craig was there for 1 year longer. In soccer in Europe, if the results don't go your way in Italy and Spain, you're gone. You are gone. And God forbid the fans don't want you. That's how it is in Europe. Here, the Crows, no. See, we got a CEO, Stephen Trigg, saying, oh, Van Berlo was an ambassador of the club. Van Berlo was the worst captain the club ever had. We're not talking players like Dunstall or Lloyd or or heard. These players at Essendon were champions. The captain, Hurd, was a champion. It just, the worst, and my friend said it, Harold said it. In 2004, he said to me, Nick, they made Nathan Van Berlo captain. So we knew from that day in 2004 that things were not going to go well. You've got the two groups in Facebook, the Crows Pride, the forum, and the other one, Adelaide Crows, whatever. The men are good on there. The women, oh, God forbid. If you say a bad word about Walker or anyone, you're Mr. Negative. You're Mr. Negative, Zakynthos. You're Mr. Negative. So, and the review. I'm sorry I'm jumping from here to there. The review that the club was supposed to do, the review was supposed to be a proper cleanup. Dunstall and Pavlich probably sent in 16 recommendations. The club only followed 2 or 3 of them, and that was it. It was never made public what the review was. Dunstall probably showed the sheet of paper to the board. The board said, yeah, right, yeah, bulk. We're going to implement those changes. We'll do 1 or 2, but not the rest. Dunstall probably went back to Pavlich on the plane back to Melbourne and said, hey, man, why did they bring us in here for? Or why do a review? Why do a review, man? What for? The club brought in Dunstall and Pavlich for what reason? You know, Port Power did a review 6 or 7 years ago. It was a total cleanup. And when Kosh came in, David Kosh, who was his Channel 7 presenter as well, bang, look where Port Power are. They almost got into the grand final, but because of Richmond. Now, people were saying that prelim final last year in September, could Port Power beat in Richmond that Friday night or Saturday night? I watched the game. Richmond are too good because of Dusty Martin. They're too good, man. They're too good. It's like when the Crows had Darren Jarman, Richmond have got another flag. And so Richmond will probably win it again, and maybe again. Richmond will be in the top 4 every year. Guess where the Crows will be? The Crows will be in the bottom 4 every year. But the women on Facebook don't want to hear that. You're Mr. Negative. You're Mr. Negative. You know, hey. Yeah, so, and the camp. All right, they hold Brett Burton accountable. And I said it in the previous, I've said it in the video earlier. He can't be held to account. He works for the club. Someone above him approved of that decision. The moment he said about a camp, the person above should have said, well, what does the camp entail? Oh, well, there'll be, this and that, a tree here and a tree there and a forest there. Well, the Aboriginals weren't happy. The Indigenous players were not happy. They were upset. A number of players, the magnitude of 8 or 9 or more, went to the leaders of the club. And I reckon they told them, yeah, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. They're basically the saying to the players, we don't give a shit. We pay your wages. You earn $300,000 a year. Shut the F up. And if you're not happy, bad luck. That's what happened. I'm sorry for being so angry. But it's just, enough is enough, man. And this chairman, like, the SANFL, surely there must be a brain amongst them. The SANFL is run not bad here in South Australia. Glenelg, Port, North, Sturt, Central Districts, West Woodville, Torrens. But the government here in South Australia has a small piece of the pie in the SANFL because John Olsen is a former premier. See, for me, if they came to me and Harold said, hey, who should we put at the top of the ladder, at the top of the chain at the club? Why not Lee Matthews? Why not? He won 3 flags as a coach. He was a fantastic player. I think he won a flag at Collingwood. He coached 3 flags in a row at Brisbane in 2003, 4, 5. But at the Crows, we don't want that. Because when you get a champion from outside of the state who actually played football, he's going to rock the boat. The Adelaide Crows, I'll tell you now, of the one thing, if you watch my video, please, please implore this to your mates, your girlfriends, your everyone. The club does not want to be rocked. They don't want to be told what to do. They have an ideology there to just as status quo. We're happy where we are. We make a lot of money from membership. We have a waiting list that's as long as my arm, as you know, and that's the thing. I've got nothing against the chairman, but when I hear he was interviewed on 5AA 2.5 months ago, 3 months last year, he goes, "Oh, guys, I got excited when I saw the players in the gym. I really got turned on, and that made me feel good." Are you serious, man? Do you know what the job of a chairman entails at a sporting organisation? We're not just talking some amateur soccer club out at Bacala or Polonia, where I play soccer, where I used to. We're talking a major sporting organisation in South Australia. The Adelaide Crows have a massive membership drive. And look who they've put in charge now. I'm sick and tired of these people. They get the CEO of a rugby background. Now they realise, now they're looking for a CEO with an AFL background. Too late now, the damage is done. We're bottom of the ladder. What do you think? All of a sudden that the Crows will be in the finals every year? It's not like soccer in Europe. Chelsea were bought out by a Russian owner 15 years ago, 20 years ago. He put in billions of dollars and then Chelsea won 2 or 3 flags. So in soccer, you can put in billions of dollars. The only here, you can't do that because you got draft and you have a salary cap. It's not the salary cap that hurts you, it's the draft. And that's another story. Let's go into the draft. Oh, if only Harold was here to tell you. Oh, the players that we've lost. Caroline Wilson on Footy Classified last year said it. She said it. The Crows lose players year upon year. We're talking about good players. Alex Keith, Patrick Dangerfield. And the club doesn't get properly compensated, man. That's the other thing that burns my blood, man. It drives me up the wall. Patrick Dangerfield, we got picks. I don't know what picks. And I said it to Harold, and he agrees. Don't have picks. You want Patrick Dangerfield? You give us Doug Hawkins. A player for a player, because a pick. But Kyle Hartigan went to Hawthorn for a future 4th round pick, and he started to become good. That guy that went to Hawthorn a couple of years ago now, he's got 4 flags. He was from Adelaide. And me and Harold spotted him that he was good. And I can't even remember his name now. He's a thin boy. He's a forward for Hawthorn. He played for the Crows. We knew that he was good. They let him go. Because a particular official abused him at the end of the last round of the season when we lost to West Coast. So he left. For me, so many players. How many? Dangerfield, others, the Charlie Cameron one. He went and why they offered him money? What, because the Crows don't have money? Yeah, bulk. They've got money, all right. They've got money. They're laughing all the way to the bank, but they only give it to who they want to give it to. And they give it to people like Matt Crouch, who is shocking, who you can see cannot kick the ball properly, does not score goals, does not hurt you. Essendon have a midfielder called Zach Merritt. He hurts you. We had so many players, man, so many that have left. And the Crows, no one is held accountable there. No one answers to anything. We have a list manager, Justin Reed, and it's just mind-blowing. The board, I'm not sure what the board is made up of, 7, 8, 11, an odd number of people, 11 people. They're not even, They're a law unto themselves. You know that Steven Seagal movie, Above the Law? Nixon said it. Richard Nixon said it. No one is below the law. No one is above the law. And no one is above the law. Listen, the Crows are above. They do as they wish. And so you got people that flock to Adelaide Oval. They used to flock to West Lakes. Oh, the Crows, the pride of South Australia. We're the mighty Camry Crows. Ah! It's just, they scream their lungs out in form. Were these supporters happy last year when the Crows finished bottom? And then you got the women on Facebook writing, we're going to have a good year. Next year, we're going to have a good year. Every year they write it, we're going to have a good year because we finished bottom. We're going to get these high picks. It doesn't work that way. If you get pick one, so in the first round, you get picks 1 to 18. In the second round, you get picks 19 to whatever. Just because you got pick 1 and 2 doesn't mean they'll turn out good. Or they might be athletic or good at the endurance runs. I'm envy of Essendon because they got pick 7, 8, and 9, or pick 5. They got, see, that's what's frightening. And how they got all those. Us, we traded future 4th round pick. Kyle Hartigan was starting to play good in a bad team, but Hawthorn got him, and we gave, what did we get? Future 4th, future. What's future like in time cop in the future? Give us the pick now, man. What future? So you know what they're going to invent? The AFL are then going to invent in the next future in 3 years' time. Pick, just pick. And I'm sick of it. Every summer, the same thing. Pick, round table, draft, salary cap, and then this stupid, perverse system where the Brad Crouch banned 3, and we suppose he asked for $650,000 per year for 4 years, and we didn't match it. And he went to St Kilda for nothing. Pick 28 or something. Whereas the Essendon guy, Joe Danaher, went to Sydney for pick 7, and Brad Crouch went to St Kilda for pick 28. He didn't go for first round yet. So someone at the Crows, and I'm going to have a dig at 5AA as well now. Let's have a dig at 5AA, one of the prominent radio stations here in South Australia. God knows how many hours I've spent listening to them as well. Saturday morning, but more during the week. You got Bickley and Rowie. They called it the Bickley and Rowie Sports Show. And all of a sudden, Bickley is gone. They go, Bickley will be part of the commentary team next year. If someone can explain to me why Mark Bickley was ousted from the drive time from 4 to 7 p.m. that week, I want to know. Because, like Harold said, in the mornings, you've got the 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. slot. Pemberty and Will, they're not ousted, they're still together. From 9 to 12 is Leon Biner. You got Pilkington, that's from 12 to 3. Corns from 3 to 4. You got Rowie from 4 to 6. So why is Bickley gone? And they did this reshuffle. Matthew Pantelis, got nothing but whatever people they put on the weeknights on 5AA, fine, whatever. But it's just, you know, again, 5AA, what's going on there? You've got your former Crows captain, a 2 times premiership player, a young man, professional in the way he speaks. Right? Because I'm a Crows supporter through and through. Why get rid of Bickley, man? Oh, you put Leith Forrest. That's not, Leith is a top bloke. Leith is excellent. He'd read out my emails in the old days. But Leith is a Carlton supporter. And it's not the same. When it was Bickley and Rowie, they disagreed. Because Bickley was hardcore Crows. He didn't want criticism of the Crows. Rowie, to be fair, he wasn't, you know. And so, I don't know. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. You know, if someone can tell me why, no one knows why he left. The way I found out that Bickley left, because I was listening one afternoon. I'm a bit of a soccer person too. They had Bruce Gito on the show. He's a director of Adelaide United. So he's speaking to Rowie and Bickley. And then Bruce Gito goes, oh, Mark, sorry to see you leave. Huh? Why is Mark Bickley leaving the station? And Mark Bickley goes, yeah, thank you, Bruce. I really appreciate it. No one knows why. No press statement to say that. What? It's mind-blowing. It's not that I don't want Rowie by himself, but the two of them were perfect, man. Saturday morning, they've got Corns and Kate. That's right. This is what really got my blood boiling. When Rowie went on holidays, they brought in KG and Wildy to fill in the summer. And guess what they spoke about in the summer? Which sport? It wasn't AFL. It was cricket, mate. It was cricket. And this is what really, it's not a sports show. It's a football cricket show. Talk about football at least. I want to hear, if not the Crows, talk about Port Adelaide, whatever. Port, Centrals, Essendon, North Melbourne, whatever. Talk about, if that's it. Cricket. And on Saturday, cricket. Someone called through Saturday morning, oh, Ken, his foot was on the crease. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. So in the winter, it's football. In the summer, it's cricket and nothing else. I don't want to hear about cricket, man. It's so boring, man. Like, look, like this. They block the ball like that. That's all they do. Like that. Oh, ooh, caught the ball. And so another guy, he called in last week. And I turned on the radio Saturday morning when I had to run an errand down near Marston, whatever. And this guy calls through, a young man, maybe 28, 30 years old. Oh, yeah. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And then he mentions the whacker. As soon as I heard the whacker, I switched the radio off because that means whacker means cricket. If you're going to talk about cricket, just don't talk about anything. Just talk about computers, talk about gaming, talk about whatever. Just don't stop with the cricket. So this is where 5AA are epic fail. They got Wildy and KG to fill in the summer. Have Ginniver. I'm a Crows person. I don't like Port Adelaide, but just have Ginniver. What happened to Michelangelo Ricci? God forbid, Val Miliacha. No, God forbid. No. Have Ginniver on at least. Have someone that used to coach Port, whatever. Mark Williams, man. That's right. The Crows had the chance to interview Mark Williams for a job. You think they wanted Mark Williams on the coaching staff of the Crows? Because Mark is a premiership player. But you see, there's another reason, and I said it before. The Crows don't want the boat to be rocked. Mark Williams will rock the boat big time. Can you imagine Mark Williams at training at the Crows, where his family comes from a legacy, a dynasty of winning SNFL flags? So many flags, it's ridiculous, man. I used to follow North. So Darren Jarman and Andrew Jarman, I consider them my cousins. Mate, why can't we have Mark Williams and the coaching staff? We got rid of so many assistant coaches last year at the Crows. Get Mark Williams. No, we don't want him because he'll rock the boat. It's almost like there's a selection criteria, like the way you apply for a job in the government, you have to follow selection. The Crows are the same. They're identical. And if you don't fit that selection criteria to a T, you're not in. You're not in. It's just, where is the club headed? That's what I'd love to know. It's not headed in the right direction. I don't care what anybody says. With the chairman that we have now, it's very hot in here. No, it's a little bit hot in here. With the chairman that we've got now, we're not headed in the right direction, man. John Olsen. Anyway, I've started the video about John Olsen. How much can I criticize him? He has no football background. And the people on Facebook, particularly the women, they go, oh, you're very unfair, your criticism, Zakynthos. Well, I'd like to have a person that's got a sporting background, at least play a NFL. Because it didn't work with the previous chairman who came from a banking background, from a bank. That didn't work from the finance background. Because something went amiss with not the recruitment, the contracts. Stephen Rowe mentioned it. But it's just, now we got a former politician. So that's what the club has become now. And then there was controversy about something about 3 months ago. Where's our new chairman? Nowhere. When there's controversy, you won't hear from the chairman. Collingwood had a chairman, president, Eddie Maguire. Very vocal, but very honest. We can't be honest with ourselves. As a club, we can't be honest. That's the difference. Eddie Maguire, they can say what they want about him, and all the people in South Australia, they hate his guts. Why do you think they hate Maguire's guts? Why do you think? Because he's done not a bad job. They were unlucky last year. They lost to Geelong, and Geelong went to a grand final. It's just, but see, Maguire speaks up. He has a voice. We've got nothing. We're bottom of the ladder. When will we ever make the finals again? What I saw in the last 4 games last year under Matthew Nicks, we can make the finals, but they ain't going to let him have the final say selection. And the players, we've got 2 first round picks that we got in Fisher Mackesy and Chase Jones. The worst first round picks I've ever seen in my born natural life. Fisher Mackesy is the worst player I've ever seen. Oh, they criticised me. Oh, Zakynthos, you're unfair. It's only his first season. What? Bullshit. Now you can see, man. We got Jordan Butts. We've got others. Schonenberg, Will Hamill. They're superb, but you can tell they're good. This guy's got no idea. We played against Western Bulldogs away one Sunday at 12:30 p.m. And this guy, Fisher Mackesy, was running down the wing with the ball. No one was on him. No one was near him. And he just kicked the ball out on the floor. He's just running, bouncing the ball. No idea, man. And this is who Justin Reid, this is who the recruitment staff is. And this is the other thing. Now I thought of this, and this is where I'm very angry. The Stephen Trigg thing, the Kurt Tipper, no one on Facebook, none of the bitches want to hear about this. They want to just bury this under the carpet. This is under the previous Rob Chapman. Kurt Tipper, he went to Sydney. He had his choice of club. He was a superb player when he was with us. He was superb. The bullshit that happened there, what the AFL did to the club, they punished Stephen Trigg. They gave him 6-month suspension. Phil Harper, 2 months. And what does Stephen Trigg do? He went for a holiday to Europe. That was his punishment. Anyway, Stephen Trigg is not there. Phil Harper is still at the club to this day. And he was part of the debacle. I have no time for David Noble, but David Noble was found to be no fault with regards to the Tippett scandal. But Phil Harper should not be there. And I had this fucking idiot on Facebook, sorry for my language, this idiot on Facebook telling me, oh, Zakynthos, you don't know the truth. It wasn't like that. But it is. Phil Harper shouldn't be there. You got a 2-month suspension from the AFL. That means you were bad. You were involved in it. Andrew Jarman said it. The worst thing that the club did with the Tippett saga is they put a clause in Tippett's contract saying you can go to the club of your choice. And I remember that day clear as mud when Corns read out the verdict from the AFL. Oh, the Crows have been fined $300,000. Stephen Trigg and Corns is getting angry. Oh, listen, how dare they? It's the AFL, man. Say thank you the club wasn't fined even more. And I can't even remember myself what really happened with the Kurt Tippett thing. That's in the past. The question is the chairman. Why couldn't they mentioned there was going to be another review of the club? That was a joke as well. I don't know, did 5AA, Rowie and Bix were joking that there was never going to be a review. There's just, the Crows are untouchable. The Crows are the pride of South Australia. And when you see Rob Chapman now at the helm, for me, it's the Chief Executive Officer. Harold might have disagreed with this. This is very important now. And I pray to God they get someone of AFL background. The Chief Executive Officer is the one that's really, his eyes are going to pop when he sees how the club is run. And I'm wondering, will he be challenged by the board if he wants to change something? Will there be a clash with the chairman? I bet you there will be, mate. We got Matt Clark because he's the coach of the women's, because what the women are doing so well. Harold said it, the reason the Crows women are doing so well is because of Erin Phillip. It's not because of you, Matt Clark. You are a clown. You are a horrible. And this is the other thing. Sam Jacobs. Geordie Thomas, the worst thing is that supporters can't even watch them train since even before COVID. Just train at Thebarton for a league. You have a point. I can't comment on that, Geordie. I can't comment. You've probably touched on something, man, that I didn't even think of that. I'm thinking of board level and coaching staff. I'm so sorry, man. You probably love the club even 10 times more than what I do, mate. Well, again, I mean, it's just maybe the chief executive officer, once he comes in, he's going to change that. If maybe. See, does the club care about the supporters? From what you say there, no. I can't comment too much about that. Geordie, if what you say is true, then it's true. I don't know. I can't comment about that. But for me, the CEO, the chief executive officer, is the one that makes decisions. Maybe he'll go in your favour and he'll fix that problem there to watch them at training. But for me, they're not. Matthew Nix's hands are tied at selection. The new CEO, I pray to God that his hands are not tied, but I bet you they will be. Sorry, Sam Jacobs, he left the club. Why? Because Riley O'Brien was getting a run in the team. Why? Because Riley O'Brien is a player and a half. He's a player of the future. So Sam Jacobs spat the dummy and he went to Greater Western Sydney. And what do you think happened? When the Crows played Greater Western Sydney, Matthew Nix was coaching as well. We beat them. And Riley O'Brien destroyed Sam Jacobs in the ruck. So what did the Adelaide Football Club do 2 months ago? They take on Sam Jacobs as a ruck coach now. So we're going to have Sam Jacobs teach a superstar player when it should be the other way around. Sam Jacobs, for me, is the worst ruckman we've had. We've had Sean Wren. We've had Ben Marsh. We've had Keating. We've had really rucks, mate, where they've won flags. And you've got this guy here now that he sooked about it, they booted him back to South Australia. And what do? We take him with open arms. You know, the Van Berlo have been critical of him. But Nathan Van Berlo went as an assistant coach to West Coast, I think, for 4 years, the last 4 years. What do you think Nathan Van Berlo is going to see when he goes back to the club? Think of what he's learned at West Coast under Mike Simpson and all of them. What the intellectual property he has learned. He's a young man. I've criticised him yet. He's going to be at training Tuesday night watching. And if he says something, they're going to tell him I'll say, fuck off. And he'll be like, okay. But at West Coast, we did things this way. You know what the Crows coaching staff will tell him? F off. We don't care. This is how we do things. And Nathan Van Berlo will say politely, well, if you want to win a flag or play in finals every year, we should do things the way West Coast do and vary a little bit. The Crows will say, no, we're not changing anything. And Van Berlo will say, that's okay, we'll just stay at the bottom of the ladder every year. Brent Riley, for me, failed. We've had Dowdy fail, Robert Shirley the worst, but the players that have left the club, it's just mind-blowing. The Sam Jacobs one is another one that just blows my mind. We didn't boot him, he left the club. He sooked because he was angry that ROB Riley O'Brien was first choice for ruck. And rightly so, Riley O'Brien was a player and a half. We don't want you, Sam Jacobs, you're too slow. I watched so many games in the last 2 years. The guy is too slow. Riley O'Brien has this lovely kick on him. He just boots it long into you can tell he's a player and a half. And the only reason Riley O'Brien got a game in the last year was because Sam Jacobs got injured when they saw how good Riley O'Brien was. To be fair to the club, the one decision the club made correctly was that they shafted Sam Jacobs. They knew how good Riley O'Brien was. Yeah, yeah. What more can you say? I think KG, Kenneth George Cunningham, I'll talk about 5AA. I think Kenneth George Cunningham is a good bloke, but for me, no, too much cricket for me. David Woody, yeah, he's all right. And for people that may, I went down this, I talked about in the video earlier, no cricket, please don't mention cricket. Football, yeah. I love soccer, but I love cricket, football. Talk about football. Please don't talk about cricket. I don't want to hear about Alex Carey, Callum Ferguson, if they farted, whatever. You know, Steve Smith was rubbing his foot on the crease. Is that not cheating again? Ooh, KG, we don't want to mention that the cheats say, ooh, God forbid. But Andrew McLeod is a bad boy because the CEO wouldn't answer the CEO's phone. Because why would Andrew McLeod say that he doesn't feel welcome at the club? This was mentioned 6 months ago. And the club were not happy about it because it's a former premiership player. But you know what? He's Indigenous. And deep down, the club don't treat the Indigenous players properly. I don't care what anybody says. Graham Johncock, whatever happened to him? Got in a bit of a problem, and that was the end of him. The Aboriginal boy now, Tyson Stengel, look, man, I see no future there for him, sadly. If you're going to go down that path of the bad things, then, you know. The camp. Oh, see, this is the other thing on Facebook. They don't want, I've mentioned it again, don't talk about the camp. The Crows fans don't want to hear it, but they go, we're sick of it. We're sick and tired of people bringing up the camp. They're bringing it up because this is not something little. This is not a small event, some amateur hour at supermarket or at Aldi or Foodland. Something bad happened where the Indigenous players were offended. Yeah, and the club, the Crows will say, well, not our problem. We've moved on from that. Yeah, well, others haven't. And in Melbourne, they've got journalists that have got long memories. And I've got long memories as well. I don't want this chairman, man. I don't want this chairman at the club. When I heard Stephen Rowe say that Bill Sanders had a big say in the selection of the chairman, it's quoted. It's there. It's quoted from, I'll go, you're kidding me. Oh, my God. And even Harold, a friend of mine, said it. They're thinking of putting. I heard last year, August, middle of the year, that there's going to be a woman as a chairman, a female in her 40s, because her father played football. Maybe she was a lawyer, whatever. Not bad, because it's part of a football family. Her father played, but this is beyond reprehensible, if that's the word. It's utterly chaotic. And what I don't like, it's just status quo. I feel sorry for Matthew Nicks, because if he starts getting wins under his belt, he's going to be challenged at team selection Thursday night. I've said it on Facebook many times. I wrote, with the other coach, he does not have the final say in team selection. Phil Harper even admitted it 6 years ago on 5AA. He goes, I picked him. He said it to them on 5. I picked him. So you have an administrator, part of the coaching staff, who on the radio admitted that he picked the player. He didn't ask what the senior coach thought. So I don't care what the senior coach thinks. I've picked him. We're a selection committee. Well, that doesn't happen in Europe. It doesn't happen in soccer. Alex Ferguson had the final say, and I guarantee you Jose Mourinho, Spurs and at Chelsea had the final say. So Matthew Nicks has to have the final say in team selection. The only coach that was not a puppet at the Crows, guess who? The one that won 2 flags. He had the final say in team selection. And when he got hired by the club, John Reid brought him in. Guess what Malcolm Blight did? He sent out 60 list letters. Andrew Jarman gone, Andrew McGuinness gone, Chris McDermott gone, and there were maybe Jamison, Wiedemann, and another one. But McDermott, McGuinness, and Jarman gone. He goes by the Malcolm Blight said to the club, by the time I fly from Queensland to Australia at the start of 1997, I want these players gone. And that was it. And I remember it clear as mud on 5AA. Andrew Jarman, John Reid calls Andrew Jarman into the office at the Crows. Andrew, come in. Yes, hello. Andrew, I'm sorry, but you're gone. And Andrew Jarman didn't make a fuss. He goes, I understand. Yeah. It's sad. I remember McDermott, McGuinness and Jarman on the footy show, the Thursday night, at the start of 97. And KG was so angry because it had Tony McGuinness on the radio. And McGuinness, Ken, you got to understand, KG was angry because they stick up because they think that the three boys that got delisted from the club are rubbish in the club. Well, they're asked to go on the footy show. You see, this is the problem with the Crows and those that are really entrenched as true hard Crows people. They don't want to be criticised. Hey man, the footy show is in Melbourne. They'll criticise whoever. And if they don't like what they see, they'll say it. Sam Newman will say it. Eddie Maguire will say it. Hey, it's on and on. It's just the Crows don't want criticism. And they'll say, no, that's not true. It is true. The one thing, as God is my witness, I heard it last year. The club said we do not want coaches over the age of 40 or 35. So what's the story? So why? And again, what's his name? The guy that coached Fremantle. He's on Footy Classified. He's only 55 years old. He's not 70 or 80. He's 55. You see, Michael Malthouse, the Crows wouldn't hire him because Michael Malthouse would rock the boat. Lee Matthews. The reason they wouldn't get Lee Matthews on the board to bring him across in some role or capacity, he'll rock the boat. Others will think of a name, they'll rock the boat. If it's a young man in his early 30s, he ain't going to rock the boat. When the Crows sack a coach like Don Pike, you know how they got Matthew Nicks? They tapped him on the shoulder. The Crows board select who they want 4 months in advance. They scour the country in their mind and they say, this guy from Sydney we want. They don't say, let's interview 7 or 8 coaches. They know who they want. And what they think, well, he's not going to say no to us. We're the Crows and we've got money and we'll pay a lot of money. I mean a lot of money. You know how much money Brendan Sanderson was earning a year? $700,000 a year. So the final year where he got sacked, they paid him out $700,000. It's a lot of money and nothing compared to what they're earning in European soccer. But it doesn't matter. Matthew Nicks, it's nothing against Matthew Nicks. He's a gentleman. He's a nice guy. And I heard he was a top player at Sydney. A defender, probably what they need in the coaching staff, a former defender. But it starts from the coach. I'm complaining about the chairman and whatever, but it starts from the coach because the coach picks the team, he coaches whatever, and delegates other training staff, puts up cones. They use analysis with the laptops. But Lee Matthews said it. The mistake the Crows made when they hired Matthew Nicks, you need to get a coach that has at least 10 years experience, minimum. I'm not saying he did. Quote, he said it, minimum 10 years assistant, yeah. And they're blaming particular people on the Facebook are complaining, the coronavirus that hurt us this year. The coronavirus is to blame. If it wasn't for the coronavirus, the Crows would have better results. I think that applies to all the clubs in the AFL. The coronavirus wasn't just in South Australia. You know what I mean? The coronavirus was everywhere. But, yeah, I don't know what to say. What 5AA? I bashed them. How much can I bash them? I've enjoyed the show. I was enjoying it until they got rid of Bickley. The funny thing was, when I was hearing Bickley and Rowie until Bickley left, they started talking about the cricket, and I started to get interested in the cricket. They had Justin Langer on, but the problem isn't 5, and this is the other thing, and Harold was mentioning it. The Crows cut ties with 5AA with a commercial agreement. For many years, 5AA towed the party line of the Crows, and then something happened, And Stephen Rowe wasn't happy. So that's where Stephen Rowe was able to criticise the club more freely. And so when Rob Chapman came on, Stephen Rowe would hit him to hit Corns. I don't know. He's all right. But the players, let's go through the players. The ones that, it was Alex Keith. There was was a Greenberg, another one. Just the Alex Keith one is the one where, and Mark Bickley was saying, these players that are 28 years old, we don't want them at the club anyway, because he was talking 2019 when he was talking. He goes, by the time we want to win a flag by 2025 in a 6-year period. These guys that are 28, like Alex Keith, that we let them go, they're not going to win us a flag. He goes, the 21 and 22-year-olds will win us a flag, like Fisher Mackesy and Chase Jones. I knew Chase Jones was bad from 2 years before. Nothing against the young man, but they're not good enough. They are not good enough at AFL level. And Fisher Mackesy, they've got to put him in SNFL, and they're going to get the shock of their lives. Even at SNFL, he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle. He does not have the acumen. I don't care what I saw him play for the first time against Port Adelaide. He was at the back manning up on someone. Forget it. Forget it, man. Port, they were talking about the class of 2018. Dersma, Connor Rosie. Mate, I rest my case. That's the difference. And so they criticise me on Facebook. They go, oh, Zakynthos must be a Port Power supporter. No, I'm not. I watch one Port Power game a year. If I'm lucky, or I fall asleep, I never miss a Crows game because I'm a Darren Jarman supporter. That's why I never miss a Crows game. And I probably watched a few Hawthorn games before we went to the Crows. I'm a Darren Jarman supporter. I'm not a Port Power supporter. But, it just... And Harold was saying, where will we see two flags again? Never again. You guys, ladies and gentlemen, you watched the two flags in 97, 98, enjoy it, because you ain't going to see a flag in our lifetime. Never again. To go over how good Darren Jarman was, Malcolm Blight knew how to use him. But even in the year in 1999, they had Jim Steins, may rest in peace. There was a game where the Crows played Melbourne, some club playing away Saturday afternoon in 1999. Darren Jarman kicked 9 goals that day as a full forward. This was in a losing team. You know what Jim Steins said? This guy's a freak. Jim Steins knew this is one of the best players he's ever seen. Full forward, half forward, wing, centre, Malcolm Blight. It just, now, what have you got now? You got Matt Crouch. See, Brad Crouch was a good player, but Brad Crouch, once he got involved in the bad stuff with Tyson Stengel, to me, Brad Crouch signed his own grave. Get out. You don't want to be at the club. Matt Crouch, as loyal as he is, he's horrible. His kicking is horrible. I don't care that he gets 50 possessions a game. I don't care. Nothing happens with the 50 possessions a game. I'd rather have a player that gets 15 possessions average a game and he scores 3 goals from midfield, because the top AFL clubs, they have midfielders that score goals. Not the way Matt Crouch, the way Matt Crouch holds the ball is he skews the ball like Nathan Buckley. That's how he holds the ball. Yeah, but Nathan Buckley was a champion. So, I don't know. The other players there, I mean, I can't even remember the Crows players now. Some of them are not that good. There's a lot of youngsters. There's about 7 of them. But if they force Matthew Nicks to... See, for me, when they dropped Fisher Mackesy from the last 4 games, the Crows started winning games. The game that we played against Collingwood the Tuesday night, which was the 5th to last game of the league year last year in 2020, we were winning at halftime against Collingwood. It was a night game. Fisher Mackesy cost us the game. After that, when they dropped him, we started winning games. Will Hamill got injured in one of the games where his head slammed against the grass. Who knows? Hopefully he's okay. They do a proper pre-season. That Phil Thorpe, they reckon this guy can run 100 metres 100 times. He ran 100 metres on Christmas Day. That's good. But what can he do with the ball? See, Darren Jarman, they used to criticize that he was, like, they were comparing him to Tony Modra, that Tony Modra had muscle, he was ripped. Darren Jarman had fat, this and that. In the end, Darren Jarman was a class player. You only have to ask the Hawthorn players in 91 and 92 how good this guy was. In 95, Darren Jarman was runner-up to the Brownlow, I think. Yeah, he was. Darren Jarman was runner-up to the Brownlow in 1995, but he got reported, so he wasn't even at the dinner that night. And who won it? Paul Kelly for Sydney. Then Darren Jarman came to the Crows. You know, and Harold was saying, when we got Darren Jarman, we had to give up. Paul Salmon was part of the trade, and the guy that was a podiatrist, he went to Essendon. Oh, I can't remember. We lost a good player to get Darren Jarman. Yeah, we got 2 flags, but Dangerfield, I'm telling you now to this day, and remember it, Crows people, Patrick Dangerfield, we got nothing for it. Because when he went to Geelong, the Geelong coach probably, not just the Geelong coaching staff, said, we're not giving you Doug Hawkins or him or that player. No way. Picks. A pick. Pick is just a number. Oh, pick 15. Brad Crouch, man. We got pick 28 for Brad Crouch. Brad Crouch is a good player. Joe Danaher went to Sydney and they got pick 7 because of this band 1, band 3 compensation. 1,500 points is bullshit system the AFL have. Stephen Rosetta, the system they have in Europe with soccer is simple. It's transfer and loan. You can loan out a player. He'll come to your club on loan from another club, but he belongs to that other club. But you get to utilize him for that season. The transfer system is better. So I just, yeah. Poor Power. They've got the one coach, Ken Hinkley. And he was under the pump. The chairman would say, we want to play finals, and mate, they delivered in spades. The coach, see, there's stability at Port now. Because say what you wanted about David Koch, he knows what he's doing. I don't care what anybody says. We don't have the administration. Stephen Rowe said it. I do not have faith in the administration. He said it, not me. And Bickley didn't like that. Bickley doesn't like that. And he's not the only one. Corns is the same. To be fair to KG, he'd criticise. Taylor Walker, don't criticise Taylor Walker. But to be fair, the games I watched, Taylor Walker is an issue. But what I don't like with the coaching staff at the Crows, in Matthew Nick's reign, is where Taylor Walker is on the wing. What is the full forward doing on the wing? He's too slow to play on the wing, man. And it's just, yeah, what other moves I've seen? Matthew Nicks has potential, but will they let him? Again, I've said it in the video earlier. Are they going to let him have the final say in team selection? Probably not. The camp. Let's talk about the future of the club. There isn't. I don't see much future. When I see a ruck coach, who the ruck coach is, and Sam Jacobs, I don't see a future. There's a ruck that played for West Coast. Can't remember his name. We won't get people outside of this. We get people, former players of the club. Why don't we get external? Get a player get someone that coached Brisbane, like I said. The Crows, the way they think is one-dimensional. The way they think at board level is one-dimensional. And for me, this is critical, who the CEO, who the chief executive officer is. Who will they hire? I don't know, man. I laugh because there's nothing I can do about it. I can voice my opinion. You can all voice your opinions, but they don't give a shit. They'll just tell you to F off. Go watch Avengers, or Spider-Man, or whatever, Divergent, Maze Runner. Watch a movie, science fiction movie. Captain America, Iron Man. They don't care. So we know how to run our club. You are not going to tell us how to run the club. Yeah, but what we see, we don't like. We don't like because it's not pleasant. It's not good enough. The club for me is not professional. It is not professionally run. And it happened from the day they put Rob Chapman in and Stephen Trigg. Rob Chapman left on his own accord. He should have been ousted. Once the review came in, you got rid of Don Pike, you got to get rid of either the CEO or the chairman. Because if the senior coach got the flick, then the chairman and the CEO have to be held accountable as well. You know Chris McDermott, right? This is the other thing. And a lot of people don't know this. Brenton Sanderson was coaching against North Melbourne and then he got the flick. And Chris McDermott the following night, Monday night, he goes, the Crows have to look at themselves. Brenton Sanderson got the sack up by the club. And Chris McDermott goes, quote, the club has to look at themselves long and hard in the mirror. End quote. Guess what happened to Chris McDermott 3 days later from 5AA? Gone. Gone like that. Because the Crows probably said, see you later, tell them to take a hike, or we're not going to sponsor you. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how it is. The Crows have power. If they want, they'll just click their fingers and you're gone. That's how it is. What else can I say about Port Adelaide? There's not much to say. I mean, the Justin Westhoff thing. They've said, I believe, had he not got dropped, that maybe they would have beaten Richmond that night, but we'll never know. But for the Crows, I wish we had more players like Justin Westhoff. He might be 30 years old, but for me, too many players have left. Matthew Nicks is another one. He's probably thinking at the start of the year, oh God, what have I done? Well, you're earning $600,000 a year. Keep your mouth shut and just try to do a good job. You're earning a lot of money, man. It's not your fault. The club have got that money. But is it money you all spend? Coach after, for me, so we're gonna sack a coach every 3 years. That's not stability. No. Port Adelaide are heading in the right direction. Yeah, okay, they lost in a prelim final at home, but they're going to be in the finals every year. They're going to be in the top 4. Us, I don't know, because this is where the draft hurts. You can't just buy players like in soccer in Europe. We have to abide by the draft. And this is the other thing. Because of the Tippett saga, we got punished with draft picks then. That took us, 3 years to recover. We still got good players, but, I mean, I've seen people post about all the the draft picks we've had since 1991. It's frightening, man. It's just... The Patrick Dangerfield one is the one they should never have let go. Corn said it about the Alastair Clarkson. We never approached Alastair Clarkson to coach the club. Was it 10 years ago or more? Offering, like Graham Corn said, $1.5 million a year. Will the club do that? No, because Alastair Clarkson will rock the boat. And the club don't want the boat to be rocked. They want smooth sailing. The club runs the show, not the senior assistant coach. At Hawthorn, the senior coach runs the show. Nathan Buckley, Collingwood, he runs the show. Chris Scott, who has won premierships at Geelong, he runs the show. The Richmond coach runs the show. We don't. The Crows are nothing. They're nobody. They're not professional. And if someone says to you that they're a successful club, they're not. That's it. Yeah, so yeah, that about does it for me, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Yeah, I wanted to see what it was like to do a live video to YouTube. I've done them to Twitch, but yeah, yeah. Thank you, everyone, and hopefully the future of the club looks bright. I doubt it. If you want to write anything in the chat, if you want to ask any questions, I see 2 viewers there. You probably know, you 2 viewers know more than me. I've watched a few games myself. I've never played football. I've played soccer, so, but yeah, today the focus is football. My beloved Adelaide Football Club, like my mum said. And my mum, may she rest in peace. She actually said, she said that's how they are. They don't care about success. They just want status quo. They're a money-making machine. No, I want flags. I want finals. I want finals minimum. Why are Richmond winning flags every year and we're not? Thanks, John Olsen. Thanks, SNFL. You've done a wonderful job with our club. You can go get stuffed. Not had enough. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.